Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I'm going to do a tasting video today of my Taylor Landlord clone. So it's been conditioning now for probably 7 or 8 weeks. Um, so I should be well conditioned and ready for a taste. I was hoping to do a side by side with an actual bottle of Landlord, but the shop didn't have any. So another time. There's still plenty of the clone left. So just crack this open. Yeah, a little bit of smoke. I have had a few of these so far. And the head retention is woeful. The carbonation seems fine, but it's more like drinking a cider than it is drinking a beer. So as you can see, the head is already starting to disappear. There we go. So yeah, plenty of carbonation. Fluffy white head while it's still there. Pretty chuffed with the clarity, and that's, I mean, for bottle conditioned homebrew especially, it's I think that's pretty impressive. So run through the numbers kind of quickly. The recipe, it was supposed to be starting gravity of 1043, finishing gravity of 1013, which would have gave me an ABV around 3.9. I got an OG of 1045. That's not through a good mash efficiency. That's again through some erroneous readings. So I thought my pre-boil gravity was down, so I added some sugar, just a couple of 100 grams. But I think if I hadn't bothered, it would have been bang on the money. So ended up 1045 starting gravity, 1080 down to 1010, which gives me a beer of 4.6, and it's 100% golden promise. Some fuggles at 60 minutes, EKGs at last 10 minutes, and some more fuggles at flame out. No dry hopping. And the sugar I used Jaggery, which is a unrefined sugar. So yeah, I suppose the head's kind of hanging about. It's lasted a minute anyway. A little bit of spice and floral, but nothing that's not strong smells at all. Quite a light aroma. Anyway, cheers. It's a refreshing beer, but it's not got much. I can't quite remember what bottles of Landlord taste like, so it would have been useful to do a side by side. But yeah, it's got again a little tiny bit of peppery spice, a little bit of fruitiness, but it's not completely tasteless. You can taste that you're drinking beer, but there's just not much. There's not much there. This was fermented with the Yorkshire Ale yeast. Can't remember if it was the White Labs or the Y yeast. But I'd made a starter for it, and I used that. First time using that yeast. And it is dropped clear. It is. Yeah, I cannot fault the clarity at all. Uh, yeah, I was quite impressed with that. If only it tasted better. But yeah, still, I wouldn't say there's any discernible off flavours. Yeah, there's nothing to make you screw your face up and go, ugh. It's just a bit boring. And I wasn't expecting a big hot bomb or anything like that. It's yeah, just missing something. This is the first time I've used Golden Promise. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a particularly malty beer either. It's it's got better with a bit of age. Uh, I tried a bottle at like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and it has been getting progressively better. Still have quite a lot of them. Like I've not drank a lot of this. I think 38, 36, 38 bottles. I've probably had about 5 or 6 bottles, so there's still loads of it left. I'll let it sit again for another couple of weeks, but carbonation is spot on. Maybe a little bit high, the carbonation. This is just one carb drop for a 500ml bottle. However, I cold crashed this for 2 or 3 days, so I wonder if it's got quite a lot of CO2 in suspension. I also wonder if it could have done with just even a tiny little dry hop. You know, even 7, 14 grams, something like that, of Fuggles or EKG just before bottling. Just to give it something else. But I should probably judge it more once I've had it side by side with the real thing. If I remember it, the Landlord itself isn't a big flavour bomb, but I'm sure it's got more to it than this. So, other than that, not much been happening. I've not done any brewing, still not made the invert sugar. Don't know if I will actually get any more beer made this year. Just with things coming up. December. If I do, it'll be the Hefeweizen because I really need to get that made. I've got yeast that's going out of date. I've got malt that's been sitting in a container for a while. Another couple of parts have arrived for my recirculation sprayer for the bigger mash tun. So I need to cut this down a little bit. But the idea is the wort will come into the mash tun through here, down there'll be a hose, and at the bottom there'll be like quite large stainless steel washer that'll be connected to the hose. So when the wort hits the washers and the screw, it will spray outwards, in theory. So still waiting for a couple of bits to arrive. That's only assuming you buy things through AliExpress. If you're buying a number of things, some things might arrive the following week. Others will take 2 or 3 months. It's just your luck. So still waiting on the stainless steel screws, lock and nut, and washer, the smallest washers. But hopefully that'll be here next few weeks. I'd quite like to get that made and then start of next year get the Triquare House clone made because I'd like to use the bigger mash tun for that, and hopefully that will increase my efficiency a little. Efficiency's not been too bad with this one. I just think this will help with the recirculation and the sparge. But yeah, that's been it really. Next tasting video will probably be my Christmas beer, which I made back in February this year, and it is a Courage Imperial Stout. I've had one bottle of it so far. It's conditioning nicely. It could probably do with just a little bit longer still, and so I'll probably do that video another couple of weeks. I'm quite pleased with how it's turning out so far. It looks the part. It looks like engine oil. But yeah, nothing else really to report at all. Yeah, I think the closest I'll be getting to brewing will be, I've got a load of bottles I need to wash. Yeah, so I've got that to do, and then I'll be ready for the next beer, which is it. Probably a Hefeweizen. I've got the Weihenstephaner Wiesen yeast. I've got that to use. That'll be the first time I'll be using that, and I've got Pils, wheat malt, and Cara wheat. I always like to add a little bit of Cara wheat. Not going to bother with any sort of rest this time when I brew the Hefeweizen. I find that if I muck about too much with step mashes when I use that much wheat, I run the risk of scorching. So there'll be no acid rest. I think that's the main culprit. Yeah, so no acid rest. I probably just do a single step. That's it. No mash out even. Just yeah. I've done that in the past, and they've turned out well. I think the last few times I've made Hefeweizen, I've mucked about too much, trying to make it overly complex, and it's just not turned out as I'd hope. Wanting to try and get more of the banana character out this time. Need to double check. I can't remember if that's a need to ferment high or ferment low. I suspect that's a ferment high, which was fine. So I'll do that this time. Usually I ferment around about 17.5. I might try and ferment one at 20 just to see how it goes, or between 19 and 20. Yeah, so that's all. My beer is empty, but cheers.